In the early 2000s, the world was changing fast. Technology was rewriting every rule, and ambition was the new currency. And at the center of that rising tide stood a young woman named Elizabeth Holmes, brilliant, determined, and convinced she could reshape the very foundation of modern medicine. As a child, Elizabeth dreamed not in small steps but in giant leaps. While her classmates imagined ordinary futures, she imagined saving millions. She filled her notebooks with ideas, inventions, and impossibly big visions. She believed she was born to build something that mattered. She entered Stanford University with a single mission: accelerate the future. Professors noticed her intensity, her quiet confidence, her ability to dive completely into an idea. But even then, it was clear that Elizabeth wasn't simply studying engineering. She was studying impact. During long nights in the lab, she became obsessed with a single concept: revolutionizing blood testing. One drop, one finger prick, endless answers, no needles, no vials, no pain. A world where diagnosis was instant, affordable, and accessible. It was a dream worthy of science fiction, but Elizabeth believed it could be real. At 19, she made a choice that would change her life forever. She dropped out of Stanford and founded a company that would soon be known across the world: Theranos. Her vision was bold, risky, and dazzling. Investors didn't just see a founder, they saw a prodigy. She spoke softly, but her words carried the weight of a revolution. She promised machines that could run hundreds of tests from a single drop of blood, and the world believed her. Money flowed in, praise followed. She was hailed as the next Steve Jobs, a visionary rewriting the rules. Elizabeth embraced the image: minimalist, mysterious, intensely focused. The black turtleneck became her armor, a symbol of certainty. Behind it, a young woman carried the expectations of a world eager for miracles. But inside the walls of Theranos, reality was far more complicated. The technology wasn't working, the machines weren't accurate, and the promises made to investors and partners began to weigh heavily. Failures mounted, tests returned unpredictable data. Engineers warned that the dream needed more time, but the world wasn't asking for patience. It was demanding results. When Theranos partnered with Walgreens, the spotlight grew hotter. Millions of customers would soon rely on the technology, but behind the scenes, pressure pushed the company toward shortcuts, and shortcuts became secrecy. Investigative journalists began asking questions. Employees whispered concerns. Former insiders described a culture of fear, where doubts were buried and truth was fragile. As the truth unraveled, Elizabeth faced a brutal reality. The miracle she promised was slipping away, and the world that once praised her now turned to scrutiny. The investigations grew into lawsuits, and lawsuits became criminal charges. The fall was rapid and unforgiving. A symbol of innovation became a symbol of deception. In court, Elizabeth insisted she never intended harm, that she believed in the mission, that she was trying to change the world, and maybe, some believed, that part was true. Media storms raged. Documentaries, headlines, podcasts, and reports dissected every angle of her story. The world was fascinated, not by the failure of a machine, but by the rise and fall of ambition. In quieter moments, away from the cameras, Elizabeth seemed to understand the gravity of what had happened. Her dream had soared high, so high it no longer touched the ground. Yet life does not end with a fall. Even in the aftermath, she began a new chapter, quieter, smaller, grounded in reflection rather than revolution. The story of Elizabeth Holmes is not just a story of failure. It's a story of vision, unchecked, untested, and ultimately undone. A story that reminds us that innovation must walk hand in hand with integrity. Because progress is beautiful, but truth is necessary, and when ambition outgrows honesty, the price can reshape an entire industry. In the end, Elizabeth Holmes remains one of the most complex figures of our time, visionary to some, cautionary tale to others. Her story continues to echo through the world of technology and medicine, reminding us that even the brightest dreams must stay rooted in truth. And perhaps, somewhere in the quiet of tomorrow, she will find a new way to rise. Not as a myth or a miracle, but as a human being who once reached too far and learned what it meant to fall. If this story surprised you, wait until you see the next one. Like the video and subscribe so you don't miss the next billionaire rise and collapse.